What's going on, family? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Corey, one half of HisHerbs, and we're just some small-time, soon-to-be big-time gardeners growing food in the high deserts of Southern California. So today, guys, what I wanted to talk to you guys about was something to protect ourselves from this intense summer heat as we transition from the colder months to the warmer months, right? I know that all of us have good sense, right? Sometimes we just choose not to use our better judgment, okay? Sometimes we choose to disregard safety in the name of expeditiousness, right? Or getting something done a little quicker than normal. Oh, I don't have to worry about this. These safety procedures or precautions, I'm gonna just go out here and get this done real quick, and then I'm gonna come right back. We're human, that's what we do, right? That's why there's a label on the side of the lawnmower that says, don't put your hand in here while the blade is moving. That label is there for a reason. And in the Navy, we were big on safety procedures. It was always, we had to tag out something. And anybody in the military would tell you that they always emphasize using PPE. And PPE stands for personal protective equipment. And that's all that is a fancy way of saying, make sure you have on the right headgear. If you're working in places where things can fall on you, having the right headgear, having on a respirator, having on safety goggles, gloves, if you're dealing with any kind of chemicals. That's all that it is. That's all PPE means. So how many times in the home do we deal with chemicals and you're not putting on gloves? You're dealing with bleach, you're dealing with pine sol, you're dealing with ammonias, we're dealing with all these chemicals, but we don't typically put gloves on to protect ourselves. Today's video is going to be about that. It's going to be about PPE for the warmer weather as we try to move into being in our garden when it's extremely hot. The first thing I want you guys to be aware of are these medical conditions called heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion they both are exactly how they sound. I'm not a medical professional, so I'm not going to sit and try to explain to you what they are or how to identify the symptoms of them. That's something you're gonna have to do on your own, right? Because I don't want this to fall back on me. But I'm doing my part in explaining to you what they are. Heat, just in the general sense, heat exhaustion is you've been out in the heat for too long and you start to get tired. And I know anybody that's been out in the sun for an extended period of time understands what that means. It's like, man, that sun is beating down on me. I'm really tired now. That's heat exhaustion, and it can lead into other things, right? Heat stroke is just what it is. You're having a stroke that's been induced by excessive heat. Your body no longer has the ability to cool itself, which is a medical emergency, and you need to get to the emergency room as soon as you possibly can. So like I said, that's just a general idea of what they are. Look them up, know how to treat them, know how to prevent them, know how to identify them. That way you can save yourself or someone else. Something that we used to tell our students in survival school when we talked about being in a desert, arid environment is rash and sweat, not water. So if you're in a hot environment, drink your water. Have your water available, drink it. But you don't want to ration your water, you want to ration your sweat. So in other words, do less activities when it's hot. That way you don't sweat as much and lose a lot of water. But if you have the water, to drink it. Because like I said, I know a lot of us, we have good common sense. And people say, oh, well, it's a no-brainer to go out there when it's either first thing in the morning or later in the evening when it's cooler. I understand everybody doesn't have your or my schedule. So they may not have the option except to go out in the hottest part of the day. It could be the medical limitations, it could be work schedules, life schedules, whatever the reason, the person has to be out there in the hottest part of the day. If you have to be out there, just take the necessary precautions to protect yourself. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go from head to toe and talk about things that we could do to protect ourselves from this intense heat. Number one, we're gonna talk about head coverings. So obviously, you put on a hat to protect yourself from, typically it's to protect the eyes from the sun. When you wear a hat like this, the bill helps to shade the sun, okay? But when we're out here in the garden, man, we need something like this, to be honest. This is my go-to, this is my favorite garden hat. I got this thing from a Mexican store, and yes, it's literally a Mexican store. It's called Vallarta. So leave it alone, man. This thing was $7 at the Mexican store. Had it for 3 years, and what I love about it is the brim. The size of this brim, it literally covers not just my head and my eyes, but look, it comes out to my shoulders. So a lot of times, this thing is great at keeping the sun off of my neck. right? So that's why I love it. I know it's a little bit damaged. I know you guys can see that it's a little bit damaged, but it's okay. I'll throw a do-rag on this thing and keep on rocking. But it's time to get another one. Keep your head covered and get something with a big brim or a big bill. If you can't find something as big as this one, because this, like, I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to find one this big when I go back. What you could do is you could take a t-shirt, take a rag, go to Dollar Tree, $99 store before they close down or while everything is on sale. Get you a rag. You can wet it, and you can put it over your head and then put your hat on, and then have the rag coming down your neck to keep the sun off your neck and not actually keep your neck cool if it's moist, right? If it's wet. They even make hats like these with tails on them, with capes, so that, you know, it automatically keeps the sun off your neck. So next thing I want to talk about is eye protection or sunglasses. Just get yourself a pair of cheap or high quality sunglasses. The point is that you're trying to keep the sun out of your eyes. As far as your clothing, keep your clothing loose and kind of away from the skin as much as you can. You want it to be baggy. Like this is good, right? It's not tight on me. It's nice and flowy. It allows for the air to get up under the shirt and get next to the body to help keep me cool. Creates kind of that layer of that buffer of cool air between my body and my clothes. So you want to dress in layers and kind of keep things flowy. And think Middle East, think the hottest parts of Africa. They're wearing what we call man dresses. Those things are long sleeve, they're long, but they're flowy, they're loose fitting, and it's made out of a really thin material, okay? That allows that air to get up under there and circulate. I also have these sleeves that I like to work in, because this just keeps the sun off of my arms, because I don't have anything. I don't come out here with long sleeve shirts, and the long sleeve shirts I do have, to me, they're still a little too thick. They're thicker than what I would like to wear. And they're not if I'm gonna have something on my arms like that, I would prefer them to be really, really loose, okay? But I wear these sleeves just to keep the sun off my arms, in conjunction with gloves, not only for garden work, because there's things out here we're gonna be pulling things and touching things that really probably don't feel really good to the hands, all right? But the gloves also help to protect the hands from excessive exposure to the sun. Shoes and footwear, me personally, I like to wear my boots when I'm out here, because I'm stepping in manures and all the kinds of gunk and junk, and I don't want to track that in the house. And I don't mind, you know, my boots, I don't mind my boots being exposed to that, because I just kick them off and I move on. But I do have a pair of shoes that are for warmer weather. They have a good amount of netting on the shoe to allow for that airflow. The only bad thing about those shoes is if I have to water, now I have to run the risk of my feet getting wet, because the shoe has the netting in. Last but not least, keep you some water on deck at all times. Drink it as you need it. Me personally, I drink a lot of water, so while I have this gallon of water out here, I have another bottle of water in the freezer. You gotta keep them in rotation, man. Keep you some water. Things with electrolytes are gonna be better. If you prefer Gatorade. If you just want to drink water, maybe you don't want the sugar that's in these sports drinks, get you some water, add you a little bit of salt, not table salt, not the iodized salt. Get you some pink Himalayan salt, get you some sea salt, put just a little bit in there. You're not trying to season your water. You're just trying to give it some sodium to help put that sodium back in your body. Have you some foods on standby, like bananas, things that are high in potassium, watermelon, things that are high in nutrients and electrolytes that can put those things back in your body as your body sweats and releases all of those salts that your body needs. All right, guys, so that's it. That's all that I wanted to talk to you guys about today, just to be safe out there. We talk about mulching and cutting, shading our garden, but what about us? We need the same level of protection from the sun as your garden does. Hopefully you guys found this video informative, helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so, and we will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.